Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Kujo. Today, I would like to talk about this tendency that we sometimes have of being passive participants of our lives. So, the beliefs that we hold about ourselves are oftentimes based on stories that we have recounted to ourselves over and over again over such a long time that they become etched on our neural pathways and therefore they translate into beliefs that we hold about ourselves. Now, the thing is, the human brain thrives on familiarity. Familiarity means that your brain does not have to use a lot of energy from point A to point B because it's very familiar with that way of thinking. It's very comfortable with that way of thinking. So, if you have not trained yourself into being present with your thoughts and to be cognizant of what you're thinking, it could mean that you may find yourself spending a lot of time daydreaming over lost love or ruminating over things of the past when you could use that time to invest in things that really matter in the present, and when you could use that time to improve your life. So obviously this is of no use, and I think this is one of the biggest reasons why we may sometimes be passive participants of our lives. What I mean by this is that perhaps you may hold a certain belief about yourself, like, for instance, that maybe you think that you are not good with finances. That's something that you have told yourself over and over again, and you have also proven to yourself over and over again. So you hold on to this belief, and you actually have what you consider to be evidence that you actually aren't good with finances, and you hold on to that belief, and you then become set on this thinking that this is how my life is meant to pan out, that I could never be financially liberated, or I could never be self-sufficient because of the belief that you hold about yourself. So, like I said, your brain is going to thrive on familiarity. For as long as you do not do the hard work of questioning some of these beliefs that you have, of being cognizant of your thought pattern, it means that you are forever going to stay in that state, and you will always look for evidence to support the belief that you have. How biased we can actually be with the way that we view ourselves, right? So I find that one of the best ways to actually combat this is speaking to yourself a lot more than you listen to yourself. Okay, I don't necessarily mean that literally speaking to yourself, although you can still do that if it helps. I'm not going to judge. But what I'm trying to say is that, a lot of times the thinking that we have in our day-to-day lives, in our day-to-day lives, that is your subconscious thinking that is working most of the time. So it means that you're listening to your thoughts for the most part of your day, for the most part of your life. Your subconscious thinking, that is what you're listening to. Now, instead of spending all your time listening to what your subconscious has to say, train yourself to actually speak to yourself. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, and it's also not going to be a pleasant thing to do all the time, because remember that this is something that you have familiarized yourself over a long time. If I may use this analogy, when a road is being constructed in an area where there has not been a road, if a road is being constructed, there's going to be a lot of effort, a lot of energy that is going to be spent in constructing that road, because there was no road there to begin with. And our brains function in the same way. Your neural pathways are created because over a long period of time you associate certain things, and those things then create your neural pathways, and you create stories about that, and then those stories turn into beliefs. So speaking to yourself a whole lot more than just listening to your passive brain speaking to you will go a long way in really helping you to break out of a lot of the beliefs that you hold about yourself, in helping you to be an active participant of your life, because your life story is not cast into stone. Your life story is something that you're the one who's writing down. You're the one who can actually change the narrative of your story by breaking out of all these beliefs that you may have about yourself that are holding you back. You don't have to sit into one way of life because this is how things have always been in your life. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this has been helpful for you. And if you find this helpful, once more, please give it a like, subscribe, and thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.